to another episode. I'm your host Dre, and for today, I wanted to talk about gun violence in America. I'm here at work in the Atlanta area, and it's been almost a week now. But last week down here, we had a shooter who shot up a hospital. I believe it was 5 women. One perished. And he made his way to the area where I work. And there's some conflicting reports from my understanding of things. He was spotted in the parking garage, or in the parking area of the office building across from mine. And it was kind of eye-opening. I'll be honest. I feel like I'm part of this problem, in that I've grown numb to it. Fortunately, I've been through a few situations myself where there's been shootings at work or at school or whatnot, like or a bomb threat or some type. And for me, it was kind of like, yo, they wilding again. While, for somebody who's a leader of people, my team, and seeing their fear, seeing their anguish, that uncertainty for a lot of them, they're family men and women. So just simply that fear, I don't know if I'm going home. It grounded me again. And people can talk about gun violence till they're blue in the face, and if I'm being honest, I think there's several things at play, and it's not just simply this one thing, like mental health or lax gun regulations. It's a lot of shit. It's a lot of shit that's coming together that's creating all of these incidents. And it shouldn't be this way. And I feel like that's what I forgot about. That's why I said at the beginning, I feel like I'm part of this problem. It shouldn't be this way. I'm a parent. I don't want my children to wonder or even have to do some of these drills to where there's an active shooter. Back in my day, we never did that. But it's a reality. And it was a reality when I was coming up, when I was getting into high school, getting into college. To some extent, I guess you can kind of argue that it's always been, but it is reaching a critical mass. I saw a story where it was a college baseball game. Guy was in the bullpen warming up, and he got struck by a stray bullet from a shootout. I wasn't even near where he was at. Like, we have a problem. We have a fucking problem in this country, and somebody needs to do something about it. And it's one of these things where I don't feel we really have room for debate here in terms of if we have a problem. Some of this stuff is foolish. we go back and forth with folks on things like climate change and so many other issues that are very important and critical, and could very well change how our lives will look in 30, 40 years. But this is one in which we should be fucking mad. We should be angry as hell. And every 2-4 years, we punch the ballot, and nothing happens. And if this isn't emblematic of government dysfunction, I don't know what is. I always was kind of the thought process that, you know what, they feel insulated in a lot of ways because of their position and status, and they just need that wake-up call. And then you had incidents like January 6th, the plan to kidnap one of the governors. I think it was in Michigan, or even Michigan State House was taken over, if I'm recalling correctly, briefly. Like, bro, this, and still nothing happened. Think about that. Nothing's happened. I shouldn't say nothing's happened. In a nation where we got more guns than people are dying. In a nation where there's so many injustices perpetrated, they're trying to bring back child labor. In a nation where we got so many problems that could really, truly, in a lot of senses, be easily addressed through legislation, the policy, the legislation, they refuse to bring it. And this is one in which I don't think the average American should take laying down. Like, we take a lot of fucking bullshit. But when I think of my kids, when I think of my family, friends, and something as benign as going outside is a fucking risk. Let's just think about that. There have been kids killed because they were outside, wrong place, wrong time. And these people weren't necessarily in a bad neighborhood. These people weren't somewhere crazy. Like I just mentioned, a guy got fucking shot at a baseball game because he caught a stray from a shootout that was a couple miles away. Like, we gotta do something. I'm saying this as somebody who owns firearms and who is a responsible owner of firearms. I own a gun safe. All of my firearms are in my safe, unless I'm in the process of taking them to the range, in which case they're locked up in one of my gun bags, or if it's my case, my pistol, my gun carrying case. I don't leave my stuff out. But that being said, I can also say it's too goddamn easy to get a fucking gun in this country in certain places. I can literally go down the street right now, get some Skittles and a pistol in less than 5 minutes. But if I lost my license, and for whatever reason had to take the driver's test all over again to get behind the wheel of the vehicle that I've purchased. Like, I have to get certified. I have to take a test. I have to study. Like, let's just think how crazy that is. We consider a vehicle a weapon under certain circumstances, which is why we have the classification of vehicular homicide. However, something that can more readily be weaponized for the loss of life in most states is simply a background check, but it really feels like nothing's happening. And they come back in 2 minutes. What color do you want? Yo, I'm not against the Second Amendment. And the reality is, at this point, we got so many guns out there. And that's speaking of the legal guns. That's not even speaking of the shadow guns, stuff that's being 3D printed. We have to get a handle on this. And we have to be real with ourselves as a nation and as people. Nothing's going to immediately change overnight. We can make certain legislative changes, and those changes, I feel over the course of time will begin to pay dividends. Some of the things I do feel we could do right now would be certain things like red flag laws. Like, hey, if somebody's acting really erratically, hey, yeah, your family, your friends, they know you. Hey, have a law enforcement professional, law enforcement and behavioral health professional go out to someone's residence. Hey, you know, such and such, they've been acting real erratic. They've been talking really crazy. I know that they have firearms. I'm scared that they might harm themselves or somebody else. Have them go out, have them speak with the individual, have the behavioral health specialist conduct just at least some type of review. And if it's certain things that's coming up, like, hey, buddy, you know, let me get these things from you for a few days, and you know, come see me in about a week. Let's come down to the station and let me get you connected with some resources in the meantime. Something like that can help immensely. A background check that really catches stuff. Because I feel like a lot of times, and this isn't dunking on the people who work at the shops or anything like that, because they're doing what they're supposed to do. But a lot of times I feel like these background checks that get run, they come back, and a lot of times folks are getting these weapons legally, which there's nothing you can do in that case. But a lot of times you do hear these stories where, yeah, such and such had this on their record, but they were able to legally purchase a firearm because it didn't come back in the background check. I don't know. I am bewildered. I am flummoxed. I feel we as a people are being smeckledorfed. Do fucking something. I feel like we should all be upset that we don't have a sense of personal security. Going to the store, going out, going to work, yes, there's a chance that something can happen, but these shootings are happening at an ever increased rate, and I'm so fucking tired of people like the goddamn NR who claim that we just need more guns. The more guns, the more shootings. So at what point in this fallacy of yours does this begin to make me safer? It's like a gun and a half to a person now. So do I become safer when we get the 2 guns, 3 guns a person, 4 guns, 5 guns a person? I think the problem we have in America is one of the things that's great about America, is that we allow pretty much everybody to speak. And I'm not saying nobody should have their right to speak taken away. What I am saying is there should be some people, some organizations that we politely turn and tell them, shut the fuck up forever.